The CEO of one of the most powerful companies in the world made an announcement that shocked everyone. He said he was going to retire and disappear from the company's headquarters for 6 months, and then he named his successor. But it wasn't what people expected. He didn't choose a top executive or someone who had been with the company for years. Instead, he chose a simple woman whose only job was to make coffee. This raised a lot of questions like, who is she and why did the CEO pick her? People started to say that the CEO was crazy. But after they heard what she said, no one thought he was crazy anymore. Welcome to our channel, where you'll always find the most interesting and inspiring stories from around the world. Today we were going to tell you about a simple woman who became the CEO of a big company, so make sure to watch the whole video. You don't want to miss anything. The day the new CEO showed up at work was one of the most exciting days in the company's history. The old CEO had run the company well and made it into a billion-dollar business over the course of 30 years. But now, a new era was starting. They all wanted to know what the new CEO would be like. Would he change things? Would he keep things the same? Or maybe he'd even improve things? There were lots of hopes and dreams, but they didn't know what to expect. The new CEO walked into the big office building with a lot of confidence. He was a young man with a bright mind and a clear vision. He knew what he wanted to do and wasn't afraid to take risks. He made a name for himself by being smart and not caring what other people thought of him. He was ready to lead the company to even greater heights and make the brand even more valuable. But when he got to his big corner office on the 28th floor, he didn't find any papers or files on his desk. It was clean, which showed how serious he was about his job. He sat down in the big chair behind the heavy wooden desk and waited for everyone to get there. Top executives from all areas of the business gathered in the conference room. They were all curious to see what the new CEO would say and do. They had heard rumors about him for years, but this was their first time meeting him in person. When the new CEO got to the meeting, everyone looked at him. It was different from what they had imagined. He was younger than they had expected and didn't look like a big deal. But when he started talking, they realized he was the right choice. He was honest and seemed to really care about the company's workers. He said, "I know you have a lot of questions about me, but I want to ask you something first. Do you know why the previous CEO chose me to take his place?" No one said anything. They all looked down. No one knew why the old CEO had picked the new CEO. Maybe he knew something they didn't. The new CEO went on, "I want to make something clear. I didn't ask to be here, and I don't want this job. But the former CEO told me that the reason he chose me is because I am not afraid of hard work and challenges." Then he turned off the projector and said in a low voice, "Our biggest challenge is right here. Our factory isn't competitive, and we have to fix it if we want to stay in business. But nobody wants to solve this problem. If you want to try, the door is open. Who will step forward?" There was a long silence. Finally, a timid voice spoke up, "I will." Everyone looked in that direction. It was just a simple coffee maker. She stood up from her chair and said in a shaky voice, "I will do it." Everyone was surprised. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. They all thought the new CEO was crazy. Why would he ask such a simple person to do such a hard job? The new CEO nodded and said, "Thank you. I knew you wouldn't let me down." He walked over to the woman and shook her hand firmly. "You can start right away, and I'll give you all the help you need." He gave her a small smile and continued, "Don't worry about the others. They'll come around." The woman felt a sense of pride and responsibility as she took on this important task. With her new responsibilities, she knew that she needed to focus and do her best to help the company succeed. She was determined to prove herself and show everyone what she was capable of. She thanked the new CEO for giving her this chance and promised to put all her efforts into making sure the project was a success. After the meeting, everyone went back to their desks with mixed feelings. They were curious to see what would happen next and how the coffee maker would handle the task. Some people were skeptical about the new CEO's decision, but they were also excited to see how this new person would lead the company. As the coffee maker got to work, the rest of the staff couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. They were curious to see what would happen next and how the coffee maker would handle the task. Days turned into weeks, and the coffee maker worked tirelessly on the project. She spent hours researching and gathering data, and she was determined to find a solution that would help the company. Her hard work and dedication didn't go unnoticed. The new CEO and some other people started to notice her efforts and the progress she was making. They could see that she was smart and had a lot of good ideas. One day, the new CEO called a new meeting with all the top executives. He asked them to think of at least 3 good ideas to help the company's main engine become better so they could compete again. All the important people in the meeting talked about their ideas. They all thought they were right and argued about whose idea was the best. But in the end, they couldn't agree on a single idea, and the meeting ended without a clear plan. The new CEO was disappointed, but he knew he had to keep trying to find a way to make the engine work better. He wanted to save the company and make it better. So he decided to talk to the coffee maker and see if she had any ideas. He found her in the same place, working hard and paying attention to every detail. He sat down next to her and said, "I've heard a lot about your work on this project. Can you help me with something?" "Of course," she replied without hesitation. "What can I do for you?" The new CEO explained what had happened at the meeting and asked for her input. "I want to hear your ideas, even if they seem small. What do you think we should do?" The coffee maker thought for a moment. "Well, I've been thinking about this issue a lot lately, and I have a few ideas that might help." The new CEO listened carefully as she shared her ideas. He was impressed by her knowledge and the new ways of thinking she brought to the table. "These are great ideas, and I love the way you think," he told her. "I think you should present these ideas to the executives at our next meeting. I'm sure they'll love them." At the next meeting, the coffee maker stood up in front of all the important people and shared her ideas with them. She was scared but excited to share what she had learned and the new ideas she had developed. She talked confidently and showed how smart she was. Everyone in the room was shocked. They hadn't realized that such a simple person could have such great ideas. They all stared at her in surprise as she finished speaking. After she sat down, there was a long silence. Then the new CEO broke the quiet and said, "These are great ideas, and I think we should try to put them into practice as soon as possible." Everyone else agreed. They were sorry they had doubted her, and were excited to start working on the new projects. The new CEO thanked her for her hard work and dedication and said, "Because of your hard work, I think we can make our company even better." Everyone in the room clapped to show how happy they were. In the following months, the company started to turn around. The new CEO worked closely with the coffee maker and other people to put her ideas into action. They faced many challenges, but together they found solutions and made the engine better. This made the company stronger and ready to face any challenges in the future. One day, the new CEO called everyone together again. He was happy to announce that the company was doing better than ever before. He told them how the changes they had made had helped the company become more successful, and how proud he was of everyone for their hard work and dedication. The company had become stronger and more successful because of the new ideas and hard work. Then he turned to the coffee maker and said, "I want to thank you especially for your hard work and dedication. Because of you, our company is now in a better place, and we are all very grateful." He then announced that the company's engine had won an award for being the best in its field. Everyone cheered and was very happy. The company had shown that it was possible to improve and be successful with hard work, dedication, and new ideas. From that day on, the coffee maker became an important part of the company, and the new CEO made sure to give her more responsibilities and opportunities to grow. She continued to amaze everyone with her intelligence and ability to solve problems. And the company kept growing and getting better because of her contributions.